Okay, so after we've got our state right, and after we've effectively raised the bow into the correct position, the next step in the shot procedure is the draw. Now, how far do you draw back? Do you go to here? Do you go to here? Well, what you're going to do is establish an anchor point, which is basically a position which is underneath your jawline. When you have your three fingers together on the string, simply keep the thumb and finger together in this position. Okay, so you have your three fingers on the string, your thumb and finger are simply connected. What we're going to do is we're going to use this to sit in the pocket underneath your jawline, and this part of your finger will sit on the jawline. Okay, so what you're looking to try and achieve here is that once you've got yourself nice and set, you look towards your target. At the moment, the target is of no interest to you. We haven't even thought about the target. When I raise my bow, I check to make sure that my grip is in the right position and my elbow is in the correct position before I draw. And when I draw, what I'm doing is pulling back against my front hand to a point at which my hand engages in two places on my neck, underneath the jawline and against my neck itself. So it fits into the pocket there. What you're ultimately going to be using when you shoot arrows with a bow is what's called a finger tab, and on these finger tabs you have this little shelf, and that shelf effectively sits underneath your jawline. But because we're not ultimately shooting arrows at the moment, we don't need to worry about the finger tab. So just to go through this again, we get set. Good posture, look towards your target, but don't concern yourself about it. Just simply then raise the bow. Again, we're not doing any aiming, we're not worried about shooting an arrow, we're just raising the bow at this time. When you feel like your hand's in the right position, your elbow is high, draw back to this anchor position. Here's an important thing. When you draw, what I want you to do is take a nice inhale. Alright, so many people who shoot poorly often do so because when they're in this position, they've got no air in their system, they're tense, and they end up releasing the bow with a very poor release, and the hand starts to develop this behaviour. Again, the brain thinks that's what it wants to do. And the more you do that in your early stages, very hard to remove this poor behaviour. What you're looking at doing is creating a sense of there's more to do after you've drawn the bow. It's only the start of the release process. So you take a raise, you draw the bow with a nice inhale. Let me show you. Now from this position, I'm able to start doing my aiming. This is the only time where I'm actually interested in the target, is when I'm actually at full draw. Because whilst I'm at full draw, I can start releasing my breath that I took in when I started to draw. So when I breathe in here, whilst I'm aiming, so I allow the air to go out of the system whilst I'm aiming, which allows the expansion process to happen. So I will end up in a state of physical flow because I've got no tension within my body. All I'm doing is reacting to the fact that I see my target and I release my arrow towards it.